There once was a girl who laughed louder than anyone else in the room. She cracked jokes, made people smile, and seemed like she had it all figured out. But if you looked close enough, you would notice something behind her eyes, a kind of knowing, a weight she never talked about. She had gone through too much, and it changed her in ways most people would never understand. This video is about those people, the ones who have been through more than their fair share of pain, the ones who carry invisible scars and walk through life with a depth that others rarely see. But here is the question that might stay with you long after this video ends. What if going through too much did not break them? What if it quietly made them into something stronger, wiser, and more alive than they ever thought possible? Let me take you into their world. When someone goes through too much, something shifts inside of them. It is not something they can point to or explain easily. It is more like a quiet change in how they see everything around them. The world looks different to them now. People look different. Even they look different to themselves. Most people walk through life with a kind of comfortable blindness. They trust easily. They assume the best. They believe that things will work out because things have always worked out. But the person who has gone through too much does not have that luxury anymore. They have seen how quickly things can fall apart. They have felt the ground disappear beneath their feet. And once you know that feeling, you can never fully forget it. This is what I call the burden of awareness. It is the price they pay for surviving what they survived. They see things others miss. They pick up on small shifts in tone, tiny changes in body language, words that do not match actions. Their mind is always scanning, always reading between the lines, not because they want to, but because they learned the hard way that they had to. Imagine walking into a room and instantly sensing when something is off. Imagine knowing when someone is lying to you before they even finish their sentence. It sounds like a superpower, but it does not feel like one. It feels exhausting. It feels lonely. Because while everyone else is enjoying the surface of life, they are stuck noticing all the cracks underneath. This heightened awareness often shows up as something people call hypervigilance. It means their nervous system is always on alert, always waiting for the next bad thing to happen. Their body remembers the danger even when their mind tries to forget. A loud noise makes them jump. A certain tone of voice sends them back to a moment they thought they had moved past. They are not being dramatic. They are just wired differently now. Their body has learned that safety is not something to take for granted. It has learned that danger can come from anywhere, often from the people and places that were supposed to be safe. So it stays ready. It stays alert. Even when the conscious mind knows that the threat has passed, the body keeps watch. This is not a choice. It is an automatic response that was built through experience. But here is where it gets complicated. This same awareness that causes them so much pain also gives them something rare. They become incredibly good at reading people. They develop a kind of emotional intelligence that cannot be taught in any classroom. They understand human nature on a level that most people never reach. They know what pain looks like when it is hiding behind a smile. They know what fear sounds like when it is dressed up as anger. They see the truth in people, even when those people are trying to hide it. This ability to read people is not something they asked for. It developed out of necessity. When you grow up in an environment where you had to predict the moods and reactions of others to stay safe, you become an expert at noticing the tiny details. The way someone's jaw tightens before they get angry. The slight change in breathing that happens when someone is about to lie. The forced quality of a laugh that is trying too hard. These things become loud and obvious to them. even when others miss them completely. And this brings us to something beautiful that grows in the soil of suffering: empathy. Deep, real, unshakable empathy. When you have felt true pain, you recognize it in others. You do not judge them for it. You do not rush them through it. You just sit with them in it, because you know that sometimes that is all a person needs. People who have gone through too much often become the friends that everyone leans on. They are the ones who answer the phone at 2 a.m. They are the ones who know exactly what to say when someone is falling apart. Not because they read it in a book, but because they have been there themselves. They know the landscape of pain like the back of their hand. There is a tenderness in them that comes from understanding what it feels like to be alone in your darkest moments. They never want anyone else to feel that way, so they show up. They listen without trying to fix everything. They hold space for someone else's pain without making it about themselves. This is a rare and precious gift, and it came at a heavy cost. But this gift comes with a shadow. They give and give and give, often until there is nothing left. They attract people who need fixing because they understand brokenness so well. They become the strong one in every relationship, carrying weight that was never theirs to carry. And sometimes they forget that they are allowed to need help too. This pattern of overgiving often starts early. When someone goes through too much as a child, they often learn that their worth comes from what they can do for others. They learn to put their own needs last. They learn that being needed is the closest thing to being loved that they can find. And this lesson follows them into adulthood, shaping every relationship they enter. This is one of the great paradoxes of people who have been through too much. They crave connection more than anything, but they also keep walls around their heart. They want to be known, truly known, but they are terrified of letting anyone that close, because the last time they trusted completely, they got hurt. The last time they opened up fully, someone used it against them. So they learn to protect themselves. They learn to give only pieces of themselves, never the whole picture. If you have ever met someone like this, you might have noticed how hard it is to get past their surface. They are warm and kind and present with you, but there is a part of them they keep hidden. It is not because they do not care about you. It is because they care too much. They know how much it hurts when someone you love becomes someone who wounds you, and they would rather keep you at a safe distance than risk going through that again. The walls they build are not made of coldness or cruelty. They are made of caution. Every brick was placed there by a painful lesson. Every layer of protection was earned through betrayal or loss or disappointment. These walls are not there to keep everyone out. They are there to buy time. Time to figure out who is safe. Time to test if someone is trustworthy. Time to prepare for the possibility of being hurt again. This guarded nature often gets misunderstood. People think they are cold or closed off or hard to read. But the truth is the opposite. They feel everything deeply. Too deeply sometimes. They just learned to build walls so they would not drown in their own emotions. Those walls are not a rejection of you. They are a survival skill they picked up along the way. And speaking of feeling deeply, let me tell you about their inner world. It is vast and complex and constantly in motion. While most people think in straight lines, they think in spirals. Their mind is always working, always processing, always trying to make sense of what happened to them and what it all means. They spend a lot of time inside their own head. Not because they want to escape reality, but because their inner world is so rich and detailed that it pulls them in. They replay conversations. They analyze moments that others forgot 5 minutes later. They search for patterns and meanings and lessons in everything they experience. This is not overthinking in the way people usually mean it. This is their mind trying to create order out of chaos, trying to find safety and understanding. This inner processing happens constantly, often without them even realizing it. While they are having a conversation with you, part of their mind is analyzing the conversation at the same time. While they are going about their day, another part of them is sorting through memories and making connections. It is like having a computer running complex programs in the background while you use it for simple tasks. The processing never really stops. This deep inner processing often leads them to profound insights about life. They see connections that others miss. They understand truths that take most people decades to figure out. They have a wisdom that seems beyond their years because pain has a way of speeding up your growth. You learn things in the fire that you could never learn in comfort. But this same inner depth can become a prison if they are not careful. They can get stuck in loops of regret and what-ifs. They can spend so much time in their head that they forget to live in the present moment. Their mind becomes a time machine that keeps taking them back to the past or forward, into fears about the future. And meanwhile, real life is happening right in front of them, and they are missing it. The challenge for them is learning how to use this depth as a tool, without letting it become a trap. The same mind that can find meaning in suffering can also create suffering by dwelling on what cannot be changed. The same ability to understand the past can keep them locked in it. Finding balance is a lifelong practice for people who think and feel this deeply. This brings us to one of the most misunderstood things about people who have gone through too much: their need for solitude. They are not antisocial. They are not unfriendly. They simply need more time alone than most people to recharge and process, and just exist without performing for anyone else. After what they have been through, being around people takes energy. They are constantly reading the room, managing their own triggers, trying to be present while parts of them are pulling toward the past. It is exhausting work that happens invisibly, so when they disappear for a while, when they cancel plans or need a quiet night in, it is not personal. It is necessary. It is how they take care of themselves in a world that often feels like too much. Solitude is where they put themselves back together. It is where they can drop the mask and just be. It is where they do the invisible work of processing their experiences and feelings. Without this time alone, they become depleted. They lose access to the best parts of themselves. They start running on fumes, showing up to life but not really being there. And here is something important. They often feel guilty about this need. They think they should be more social, more available, more like everyone else. They push themselves to show up even when they are running on empty. And then they crash hard and need even more time to recover. It is a cycle that many of them know well. But now, I want to shift our focus. Because everything we have talked about so far might sound heavy. It might sound like being someone who has gone through too much is only about struggle and pain and keeping walls up. But that is not the full picture. Not even close. You see, something remarkable happens to people who survive the unsurvivable. They develop a kind of inner strength that cannot be faked or bought or taught. It is forged in the fire of their worst moments. And once it is there, it becomes a part of who they are forever. Think about what it takes to keep going when everything in you wants to give up. Think about the courage it requires to wake up every day and face a world that has already hurt you deeply. Think about the resilience it takes to rebuild yourself after you have been broken. That is what these people have done. That is what they continue to do. This strength does not always look like what you might expect. It is not loud or showy or obvious. It is quiet. It is steady. It is the ability to hold yourself together when everything around you is falling apart. It is the choice to keep loving even after love has hurt you. It is the decision to stay open even when closing off would be so much easier. And this strength changes what they value in life. When you have faced real darkness, you stop caring about things that do not matter. The petty drama that consumes most people barely registers on their radar. The status symbols and social games that others chase seem hollow and pointless to them. They have touched something real, something raw, something that strips away all the nonsense. And they cannot go back to pretending that the superficial stuff matters. Instead, they start chasing truth. Real, honest, uncomfortable truth. They want conversations that go beneath the surface. They want relationships where they can be fully themselves. They want work that means something, not just paychecks and promotions. They want a life that feels authentic, even if it is smaller and quieter than what others might expect. This shift in priorities can make them feel out of step with the world around them. While their friends are worrying about followers and likes, they are thinking about purpose and connection. While their co-workers are climbing ladders, they are asking if the ladder is even leaning against the right wall. They see through the games that most people play without even knowing they are playing them. Sometimes this clarity feels like a gift. They no longer waste time on things that do not matter. They no longer chase approval from people who do not care about them. They have been forced to figure out what really matters, and now they cannot unsee it. But other times, this clarity feels like isolation. They look around at a world that seems obsessed with things they cannot bring themselves to care about, and they wonder if anyone else sees what they see. The truth is, they often feel like they are speaking a different language than everyone else, not because they are smarter or better, but because they have been somewhere that most people have not been. They have touched the bottom and found their way back up. That journey changes your vocabulary. It changes what you talk about and what you stay silent about. It changes the kind of conversations that feel worth having. And this leads to another beautiful thing that grows from pain: the ability to find meaning in suffering. They do not just survive what happened to them. They transform it into something that matters. They use their wounds to help others heal. They turn their struggles into stories that give hope to people walking similar paths. Their pain becomes purposeful in a way that nothing else could be. This is perhaps the greatest alchemy of the human spirit. Taking the worst things that happen to you and making them into fuel for becoming who you were always meant to be. Not everyone can do this. It takes courage and time and often a lot of support. But the people who manage it become lights in a dark world. They become proof that what breaks you does not have to define you. But let me be honest about something. Getting to this place is not easy, and it is not guaranteed. Many people who go through too much get stuck in their pain. They let bitterness take root. They close themselves off so completely that they miss out on all the good things life still has to offer. The journey from wounded to wise is not automatic. It is a choice they have to make over and over again. There are days when they want to give up, days when the weight feels too heavy and the memories feel too close, days when they wonder if all the work they have done was even worth it. These days are part of the journey too. Healing is not a straight line. It loops back on itself. It takes you to places you thought you had already left behind. And the only way through is to keep going, even when going feels impossible. And even the ones who make it to the other side still have hard days. They still get triggered. They still feel the weight of what they carry. Healing is not a destination they arrive at and stay in forever. It is a practice. It is something they have to tend to like a garden, pulling weeds and planting new seeds, and trusting that growth will come even when they cannot see it yet. Some days the garden looks beautiful. Everything is blooming and the work feels worth it. Other days, the weeds have taken over and they wonder why they even try. Time wons. But the people who have truly transformed their pain into wisdom know something important. The weeds will always come back. The work will never be finished. And that is okay. The point is not to have a perfect garden. The point is to keep tending it. This is where the real climax of their story lives, in the daily choice to keep going, in the decision to stay soft in a world that gave them every reason to harden, in the courage to love again after love destroyed them, in the faith to hope again after hope let them down. Every single day they choose healing over bitterness, openness over walls, life over merely surviving. And this choice is not made once, it is made 1,000 times. When the memories come flooding back at 3 a.m, time ones. When someone says something that hits an old wound, when life throws another curveball and they wonder if they have any fight left, in those moments, they reach inside themselves and find that strength they built from all their broken pieces. And they keep going. I think this is what most people miss when they look at someone who has gone through too much. They see the scars and the struggles. They see the walls and the guarded nature. But they do not see the warrior underneath. They do not see the person who has already survived their own personal apocalypse and is still here, still standing, still trying. These people are not broken. They are the opposite of broken. They are people who have been shattered and then put themselves back together with gold in the cracks. Like that Japanese art form where broken pottery becomes more beautiful because of its repairs. Their fractures are not flaws. They are evidence of battles won. They are proof of a spirit that refused to quit. When you look at them now, you might not see everything they have overcome. You might not know about the nights they cried themselves to sleep or the moments when they were not sure they would make it through. But those experiences are woven into everything they are. They show up in the way they love, the way they listen, the way they move through the world with a gentleness that comes from knowing how fragile everything can be. And here is what I personally believe. I believe that the world needs these people desperately. We need their depth in a culture obsessed with surfaces. We need their wisdom in a world drowning in noise. We need their empathy when so many people have forgotten how to truly see each other. We need their strength when everything feels uncertain. They are the ones who remind us what matters. They are the ones who ask the questions everyone else is afraid to ask. They are the ones who see you, really see you, when everyone else is too busy to look. In a world that often feels shallow and fast and disposable, they bring something rare. They bring realness. They bring presence. They bring a kind of love that has been tested by fire and survived. So if you are one of these people, if you are someone who has gone through too much and feels like you are carrying the weight of worlds on your shoulders, I want you to know something. What you have survived matters. The strength you have built matters. The depth you have gained matters. You are not damaged goods. You are rare. You are necessary. You are exactly the kind of person this world needs more of. And if you love someone like this, if there is a person in your life who carries this kind of weight, I hope you will be patient with them. I hope you will see past their walls to the tender heart underneath. I hope you will earn their trust slowly and then hold it like the precious thing it is. Because when they finally let you in, when they finally show you who they really are, you will find a loyalty and a love that most people only dream about. The psychology of people who have gone through too much is not just a study in suffering. It is a study in survival. It is proof that humans can endure almost anything and come out the other side not just intact, but transformed. It is a reminder that our worst moments do not have to be our final chapters. Sometimes they are just the beginning of who we were always meant to become. There is a quiet power in people who have rebuilt themselves from nothing. They know something that others do not. They know that they can survive the unsurvivable. They know that even when everything falls apart, they have what it takes to put it back together. That knowledge lives in their bones now. It cannot be taken away. And that is the real story here. Not the pain they carry, but the light they have found within it. Not the walls they built, but the doors they still leave open. Not what was done to them, but what they chose to do with it. That is the psychology of people who have gone through too much. And it might just be the most beautiful kind of strength there is. If this video touched something in you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. What does resilience mean to you? Thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next one.